Imagine you want to conduct a study on a burnout among the nurses in a hospital. And the hospital has nurses working in ICU, nurses working in surgical ward, and nurses working in medical ward. Now think about this. If you simply stand at the hospital entrance and ask every nurse who walk past to join your study, who are you most likely to recruit? It could be nurses on morning shift. It could be nurses who have more free time. It could be nurses from one department. Are you already seeing the problem? This is a problem that quota sampling tries to avoid, tries to solve, so that you don't recruit people who are simply not a representative of your population. Now, here's a simple idea. Before you begin your data collection, you want to decide how many people, how many participants do you need from each important group. For example, you decide that you want 50 nurses from ICU, 40 nurses from medical ward, and 30 nurses from surgical ward. These numbers that you've given to all of this group or this ward is what we call quota. And when you start collecting your data, you do not stop until the quota is filled. So if you say the quota for ICU nurses is 50, you need 50 nurses from ICU to respond to your questionnaire. When you say the quota for medical ward is 40 nurses, that means you need 40 nurses from medical ward to respond to your questionnaire. And the same thing for the surgical ward. You don't stop, you don't rest until that quota is filled up. That is quota sampling. Another example is, let's say you decide to fill bottles with water, and those bottles have a line, they have a mark. So you only stop filling water in those bottles when it reaches that mark. So in quota sampling, you set a target. This is the number of respondents I want from this group, and you don't stop until that number reaches. Now the next question is, how do you decide these quotas? How do I know that I need 50 nurses from ICU, 40 nurses for medical ward, and 30 nurses from surgical ward? How do you decide? Do you just come up with it just because you feel it is right for you, or is there a way? Now, definitely, there are two ways that you can decide your quotas, the amount of people you want to answer your questionnaire in each group. And the first method is what we call a proportionate quota sampling method. Now, it is the easiest method because your sample would look like your population when you are using this method. Now, let me explain. For example, a hospital has 500 nurses in medical ward, 300 in surgical ward, and 200 in ICU. Now, if we put all these numbers together, totally, that means the hospital has 1,000 nurses, right? Now, imagine you have already calculated your sample size to be 100, meaning you only need 100 nurses out of 1,000 nurses. Now, in order for you to determine the quota that you need for each of this ward, you're going to use the simple formula. Quota is equal to population proportion or group proportion times the total sample size. Now, the first thing we need to do is to determine the proportion for each of the ward, for each of the units. Now, what you want to do is, since the first ward, which is medical ward, has 500 nurses, what you want to do is, you want to divide 500 by 1,000. When you divide 500 by 1,000, you are going to have 0.5, which is your population proportion. Now, you want to multiply 0.5 by the total sample size, which is 100. And when you do this, you will get 50, meaning for medical ward, you need 50 nurses. 50 is your quota for medical ward. Now, the next one is your surgical ward. Now, the surgical ward has 300 nurses. Now, if you divide 300 by 1,000, you're going to have 0.3. Once you are done, you want to multiply that 0.3 by 100, which is the total sample size. And then you are going to have 30. Now, 30 becomes your quota for that ward. That means you need 30 nurses to fill your questionnaire. And the next one is ICU. In ICU, we have 200 nurses. So 200 divided by 1,000 is 0.2. When you now multiply 0.2 times 100, we are going to have 20. Now look at this. You have 50 nurses from medical ward, 30 nurses from surgical ward, and 20 nurses from ICU. If we put these quotas all together, we are going to have 100, which is equal to our sample size. This is how you determine your quota using the proportionate method. Now let's talk about the second method of determining your quota, and this is what we call the non-proportionate method or the disproportionate method. Now, this one doesn't really have any formula. You decide the quotas based on your research objective and also based on the variability of your population, based on the differences between them. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say in a hospital, you have 900 medical nurses. 80 surgical nurses, and 20 ICU nurses. Now, if you decide to use a proportionate quota sampling method with a sample size of 100, you will end up recruiting 90 nurses from medical ward, 8 nurses from surgical ward, and 2 nurses from ICU. Now, be sincere with yourself. After interview, after collecting your data, can you say that the 2 nurses you recruited from ICU is enough to give you the information of their burnout experience in that unit? Probably not. So you might decide to increase the quota for ICU nurses. So you can have the quota for medical wards to be 60, the one for surgical wards to be 20, and the one for ICU to be 20 as well. Now, if you look at it, your quotas do not really match your population anymore, and that is okay because you didn't change them because they look good on paper. You changed them for a reason. You change them because you need more nurses from ICU to answer your question, to participate in your research. Now, with this disproportionate method, there is no universal formula. The only thing you need to do is to make the right choice for your study and make sure that you have a reasonable reason, and also explain why you did it. Explain what the reason is. Now, let's talk about when quota sampling is the right choice for your study. And you want to do that by asking yourself this simple question: do you have the sampling frame for your study? If the answer is no, then quota sampling might be a good choice for your study. But if you have the sampling frame, you might want to consider a different sampling technique. That's how you make decisions. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes that we make sometimes because we get carried away when we are writing our projects. Sometimes you see that students write, participants were selected randomly using quota sampling. Now, that statement is wrong because quota sampling has nothing to do with randomization. There is no random selection when you're using quota sampling. So you want to be careful whenever you are writing. Just write what you did step by step. Now, then let's watch this video and memorize everything that I've just said. Think about your own research. Ask yourself, does quota sampling actually fit this research? And also, if you're struggling in determining, you can drop your research topic in the comments and your population, and I'll help you in making that decision. Some students still confuse quota sampling and convenience sampling. If you really want to understand what a convenience sampling is, I highly recommend you watch this video right here because it talks about everything that has to do with convenience sampling, and it's going to help you to differentiate between these two sampling techniques. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.